Welcome, sages. I've returned with a review for a tower defense game that was released a couple of days ago on Steam. It's from an indie developer, Cakes, and this one is Tangy Tower Defense. If you know about it, you can skip this part. However, I will do a small rundown of the game itself. Well, to begin with, the game is pretty small at the moment. The scope is very small when it comes to the number of towers, the number of maps, and I think that interactables or features, if you want to call them systems in general. However, the game itself is not that simple. It's easy to understand, easy to play. However, it has its own complexity layers once you understand how the game works. And at some point you will have to, because there is a difficulty, or at least there was a difficulty wall in the last mission of the first zone. So this one, the Bay Harbor Butcher, I think it was nerfed, but for some people that are not really used to the tower defense genre, it might be a little bit harder. Basically, the game has only 8 levels at the moment, with technically 3 boss levels, something like that. It has 3 towers. It has a ranger, a healer, and a defender. It has a hero that you can move around the map basically as a movable tower that can also level up, and it has roguelike elements. Whenever you level up, you can choose between a couple of options that will impact gameplay. So I will show this later, but now I'm giving a short description. Basically, you can make your hero attack faster. You can make your hero be a support for all the towers that you place. The most interesting part about this game is that it's not traditional tower defense that you would find in many other games. Instead, it's a combination of genres. So it has roguelike elements, it has the tower defense elements, it has a skill tree, so it has some meta progression and replayability with builds. The build that I went with, it's ranger only based. I'm not even using the defender and healer, because the ranger is basically the best defensive is the offensive one, and archers are basically not overpowered, but a lot more powerful than the defender and the healer. Technically, I tried making a defender or healer build, but I failed to do so because they're not reliable. They are very dependent on items. Meanwhile, the ranger is in itself a powerhouse, and I will also explain how the talent tree feature works. But you will have this talent tree as well as another upgrades talent tree, and here you can upgrade technically either the map or like the items, or the 2 abilities that your heroes have, because your hero has 2 abilities, one an AoE heal and another one for some throwable bombs, exploranges. And the most interesting part about this tower defense is that it's not technically a visual grid based game. Instead, you can place your towers, basically your elves, wherever you want on the map, and with the help of your hero you can move them whenever you want to switch positions between them. So I'll just start a level. Let's start, I don't know, sure, the Bay Harbor Butcher, the harder one. It also has a challenge mode. Basically, this is an endless mode, but first you'll have to play the campaign for a map, and then you can unlock the challenge mode. So starting with the Bay Harbor Butcher, we already have multiple elements on the screen. You have the boss, you have the 3 towers here. Here you have an inventory of items, and if you click on the tree, you have multiple items to buy. Of course, some items are specifically made for an archetype, so the bow is clearly made for the ranger. You cannot place the bow on a defender or on a healer. However, most of the armors are usable on any of them. Each item has its own stats, so this one has physical damage, attack speed, split count, range, and also an active effect with a base cooldown of 12 seconds. While, let's say this one, since it's a common, while this one is rare, has only pierce count, projectile speed, and range. This one is a wand that can be used by the healers. So like, let's place this one here, and I'll buy this. Once I replace an item, the replaced item gets put in the inventory, and I can either use the same item on another elf, another ranger, to either upgrade the bow, because it also has like the upgrade system, the upgrade feature that you'd find in some merge games as well, and it's turned into like this longbow. Once you also click on a tower, you can either sell it, you can see the stats, you can choose who to focus, so flying, the first one, the last one, the lower HP, the higher HP, the closest or the furthest. Usually I leave it on flying because those enemies are harder to kill if you don't have this one. Also, as I was saying, let's say that I've placed my ranger here, but I don't want it here, I want it here. So what I can do, and this is a feature, this is a system that becomes active from the third map, as far as I remember. I can just hold right click on it, and then I hold it up, and then I can move whatever I want, and then left click, and the tower is placed there. Moving back to the shop, let's say I want to buy this leather cape, and then I have this crispy meat that will be equipped in the accessory. So looking at the inventory of a tower, you'll see that it has 4 slots. One is offensive, one is defensive, one is for helmet, and one is for accessories. And at the moment, it's not shown exactly what slot the item occupies. However, you can technically look at them and understand. In some cases, it's not as easy to spot, but like the shield is clearly a defensive one and the weapon is clearly an offensive one. But in some cases, there are some items like this spyglass, which you don't really know where it should fit until you use it, and then you see that it's placed in the defensive slot instead of like the accessory one. Also, if I buy an item, or if I have an item that I don't want to use after replacing it, I can just grab it and throw it in the cauldron, where I exchange this item for any item of the same any item regardless of the slot. So basically I threw a bow and I can get like a spyglass, or I can get a helmet. I'll just take the spyglass and then I'll move this here. Okay, sure, I can put this here. What's interesting about this level is that there are these 2 catapults that target everybody that is visible to them, regardless of range. So you have to make use of these boxes. I'll just put them here. I think it should be enough. I'll buy this. Once you start the game, you can also change the speed of the game here from 1x to 3x. Usually I play on 3x, but that's because I like to be fast. You can also see the rounds here. Usually whenever you're playing the game, you would unlock these red balls, which are like talent 3 points. This is your currency that you can use in game for either building or buying items. And once you finish a level, this currency is completely reset, so you cannot keep currency from one level to another. However, once you finish a level, The red balls are used in that talent tree, which I will show you again once I finish this level. And if you finish a level, you'll also get a star, which you can use in the upgrade talent tree that I showed you earlier. Also, not a good idea to do that. This is a chest. I think if you played any Survivors Horde genre game, whatever, you will be used to this chest. However, if you're not, a quick explanation would be that whenever you kill an elite enemy or a boss enemy, in a way they drop a chest that you can pick up by right clicking on top of it, and then you'll have to pick between 3 items. You can also re-roll them if you don't want, so in this case I'll just pick the thornwood bow. Let's... I should have done this, huh? Okay. Apparently I will show you the death mechanic as well. So if you die, even if your hero dies, it doesn't stay dead forever. Instead, it has a respawn timer, just like any other like tower in the game. I think I will just aggro them really. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Now that I think about it. It's fine. Okay, so now that I killed it and my hero was in range for it to also attack an enemy, she gained XP, because here you can see the status bar as well as both abilities. The red bar is her health and the green bar is her experience. I wanted to get her some experience here, but I couldn't. So I just aggroed the boss by using my exploranges to come here and kill them. Once I level up, I have 3 options of abilities, and I can also reroll these as well. And they come in many forms, as either attack speed or support ones, or even an ank. Oh, I actually have multiple levels. For example, this one, the Magic Globes, is one of my favorite pickups, like power-ups, because I can take any tower and basically become a movable tower on the map. I can go wherever I'm needed, whenever I'm needed. So in this case, just I'll take this. Sure. I'll take this as well. Sure. Okay, so I'll take her, and now I can just move around the map and it constantly attacks. I can just go out of harm's way in order to deal as much damage as possible without ever dying, although there are some enemies that attack you on sight, but that's fine. I need some items for her though. Kind of boring that I'm not saying anything now. But I'll have only 3 more rounds to finish this game, so it's completely fine. Actually, I will also put a defender down and a healer. So basically the defender is like a wall. The range, the archers are the offensive towers. Oh shit. The police decided that it's time to raid my neighborhood. I'm sorry for that. As I was saying, the healer are basically healers, but they can become mage, so offensive towers as well. And what I like about placing towers in this game is that you can place them wherever you want. It's not, you're not forced to place them in certain places like in other games, which I appreciate a lot. That was one thing that in some games I understood why it's made that way, although I could see the possibility of having the freedom to do this. So I'll just wait for this level to end. If it ends, please. I think I have only a couple more enemies in this wave. Yeah, so how are you doing? Having fun? I think one more? No. Apparently there are multiple enemies left. Incredible. Well, what I would like to say is that... Okay, it's finally done. At the end screen you have a restart button, which I used for... which I used whenever I didn't get the 3 stars. And then there's the next button, which gets you to the talent tree screen. Looking at the talent trees and the options, you have the bigger nodes, which are very powerful bonuses that you have, and they have only 1 point to be taken. And then you have the lower ones, like this one, which have 3 points to be used, like this. And it's similar to the Path of Exile one, although the changes are not that impactful. There are only a couple of ones that truly enhance or change the way you use a tower, just like this one, the lookout stump, that allows rangers to be placed on a tree stump, increasing their range by 20%. And in order to get here, you will need to like build towards it. There are some interesting ones for the healer and defender as well. However, again, they are very dependent on items, or not reliable in general compared to the ranger. I hope that in the future there will be a balancing patch that doesn't nerf the ranger, but instead buffs the defender and the healer, or uses, or like adds a couple more towers that might interact with the defender and healer in order to increase their usability in the game. Looking at the game again, it's just released. It was released for the Steam Tower Defense Fest, so I think that the game is still in need of development. The developer is also live on YouTube and I think on Twitch, live developing the game, interacting with the community, getting feedback every day. So there are constant updates. I think there was an update yesterday as well, which gets which might make this review and whatever I'm showing here obsolete if you're watching at a later date after multiple updates. But I'll keep playing the game. So I think I finished the game in like 5 hours, and 5 hours because I basically grinded everything before the Bay Harbor Butcher, so in this level, because I wanted everything in the talent tree. You have a maximum of I think 420 like talent tree points. But the fun part about the game is that it has a leaderboard that you can see here, and it's based on how many rounds you survived in the endless mode. And also the endless mode is basically the normal mode enhanced, so the waves have multiple enemies compared to the normal ones. And at some point you will just you'll have the entire map filled with these soldiers, these rangers and so on, that you won't even have enough visibility on the screen. I know that there were some crashes as well, but again, it's an indie developer, it's a solo developer. I do believe that it has a lot of potential, but that's also because I'm a bit biased towards tower defense games or like roguelike. It has multiple elements that I do enjoy. But yeah, although it's kind of a long video, I would say that the game is worth picking and trying. Even if you don't like it, you can refine it before you play it for 2 hours. Although I wouldn't do that because it's pretty cheap overall, and I can only assume that there will be multiple huge patches in the short coming future. That being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you played or wish to play the game, I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I did. I'm Jack, and I'll see you later.